I've been to Africa and they hated me. They despised me.
Hello everybody, welcome to afripost. I am Victor, and today I want us to talk about something that is completely different from what we always discuss in this channel. I want us to talk about the question of African Americans and their experience when they come to the African continent. I am basically an African and Kenyan for that matter. But then there are those people or those African Americans who have the belief that coming to Africa is something that is not worth making an effort for. They say that Africa is full of challenges and they would not want to be part of these challenges. So I want us to look and understand what really is there in Africa and what kind of experience can you have when you come here. But before I delve deeper in that, first of all, let me ask you this question. If you are an African American watching, have you ever visited Africa? And if you visited, what was your experience? Or do you know any of your friend who has visited Africa? And what experience or what did they tell you they experienced when they came to Africa? First of all, you must know that Africa is your ancestral home. It is where your great grandparents lived. And therefore, having to come back to your roots is something that should be cherished from your end. So as an African American, if I were one, of which I'm not, I would have wished to come and look at how the country where my forefathers came from, the inhabitants of that region, what culture do they have? In Africa, you must understand that we are different tribes, and each tribe has its difference in terms of culture and what they follow, what they believe in, and how they carry out different responsibilities. For instance, if you are, let's say, a Bantu, there are certain things you do, there are certain rites of passage you do. There is a way in which you find that there were certain things like female genital mutilation that used to happen. There used to be also circumcision of men, such kind of things. If you are Nilots, for instance, there are certain things you do, like how men and women are supposed to relate. These things are different. So in Africa, things are quite different. In Africa, things are done differently, especially when it comes to understanding how our culture works. I came across some African Americans who were speaking about their experience coming to Africa. And I was perplexed by the kind of explanation they were giving. In fact, it gave me some level of confusion. I was wondering, is this really Africa that they're describing, or they're describing a different continent? Because first of all, they're calling it Africa. They do not state openly that I visited this country. Africa is made up of close to 54 countries, different countries. We have Ghana, we have Nigeria, we have Morocco, we have Libya, we have Egypt, we have Kenya, we have Tanzania, we have South Africa, we have Eswatini, we have Zambia, we have Mozambique. Many countries are here. And therefore, if you go to every country, there is a certain culture that they have. And therefore, if you're coming to Africa, be prepared to have a cocktail of culture to experience. It is something worth experiencing, I can tell you, speaking as an African. But then take a listen to these two African Americans and their perception about Africa and how they think Africa is supposed to be.
I've been to Africa and they hated me. They despised me. They said, "Look at this black American motherfucker." They said these are their actual words. It was me and some other white individuals. It was 18 people. We got stopped. I was 17 years old. They pulled me out of the van, put an AK-47 on me, and put a 45 on me, and said, "Look at this black American motherfucker." They took our passports. I thought we were instantly dead.
Yeah, I don't give a damn about no Africa. Nigga, Africa ain't built no ship and came back over here and rescued one nigga since we left from Africa. Yeah, and Africans don't like us. Yeah, nigga, Africans don't fuck with us. They don't like us. And they stink. Yeah, and they some stinky people. Yeah, nigga, fuck Africa. Yeah, nigga, they ain't our people. We niggas, slaves. The descendants of slaves. They would never call no nigga. The first group of Africans, only one generation, now the first group came, they wasn't born into this shit. Me and your people was born into this, homie. They were born slaves. They birth certificates say nigger. They was born in Africa. They are not us. They know what tribe they come from. They had a language. Once they broke them from the language and we was born in these conditions. We ain't no Africans. We ain't no Hebrew.
The speakers do not really think they should be coming to Africa based on experience and what they have seen. For instance, you've heard the second speaker saying that since slaves were brought to America, Africans have not made any effort of trying to reach out to African Americans in the United States. And they have not built any ship to go and rescue them. And therefore, there is no way he can be linked to an Africa. And in fact, he's continuing to say that he does not have any cultural connection with Africa, which I tend to agree with him because, you know, the first generation that visited United States, that went to United States as slaves, they knew and understood the tribe they were coming from. But ask yourself, the 10th generation, if that cultural information was not restricted and was not passed to next generations, do you really think the 10th generation will have an understanding of the tribe they come from, the cultures they practiced, and the life experiences that they had, such kind of things? It is totally something that is not there. So for me, I believe one of the reasons why African Americans are shying away from coming to Africa is the lack of cultural connection. There are those genetic information that are easily available. You can take test on your DNA and trace your genealogy. Such kind of things do happen. So if you do that test and find that your genealogical information is linking you to Nigeria, is linking you to Senegal, is linking you to Ghana, you can go to Ghana and understand the kind of cultures that those people are practicing. This is something that if you get some time, I can vouch for Africa and tell you that Africa is a place that you'd want to be. It is somewhere that a lot of good things do happen there. Another thing is here. Most African Americans are of the opinion that when they come to Africa, they will be coming to do philanthropic work. Because you associate coming to Africa with missions. When you hear most whites come to Africa, you have known that they are coming for certain charity, missions, such kind of things. But this is far from the truth. As Africans, we understand that there are some of our brothers and sisters who are taken the other side because of the transatlantic trade that took place and the slave trade that happened. So we are not necessarily looking at you as people who can come and give us something. We are looking at you as our brothers, our lost brothers, that we should embrace and we should work together with to ensure that we be greater and have a greater coexistence for that matter. So it's not about philanthropic work, as it were. So for me, I would vouch for Africa and say that as Africans, our main mission is to see where we can help you because you are our brothers. One thing you must note, different countries are making efforts to ensure that you come freely. In fact, Kenya is even having a thought of ensuring that we are visa-free. You can come without having any visa issues. Those are some of the steps that Kenyan government is making. So if you're an African American, make that effort and take up that opportunity. Come to Africa, understand. And remember, do your research. You will be told that the cradle of mankind is in Africa. And I can boast and say it is located in Kenya. If you want to come and have this kind of experience, we welcome you. And please don't forget to book that ticket to come to Kenya and even Africa for that matter. Another thing, and this is major for many of you, the misplaced fear about what will happen for me. People think that Africa is full of diseases, Africa is full of conflicts, Africa is full of political instability, but that is far from the truth. Africa hosts some of the most peaceful people. And in fact, if you come to this continent, you will have a journey and an experience that you will never forget for the rest of your life. Come to Africa and have a taste of the culture that we have. So this is something that I would try to explain to you, and wish that for those who are willing to come to Africa, the explanation that you got from the two clips, that is not the true representation of what Africa is. First of all, you must understand that Africa is not a country, Africa is a continent. It has different countries. You cannot tell me that because France is violent, you cannot now go to United Kingdom because it is in Europe. You cannot tell me now that you cannot go to Italy. You cannot go to Germany because those are still in Europe. So come to Africa, do a background search about the country you want to go and visit, understand some of the cultural practices so that you do not get scared. Sometimes you are happy coming to greet you, but for you might pick it as a negative signal that maybe we are violent or in one way or the other. Understand our cultures when you're coming so that you also get to have a better stay in Africa. Also, you can try to get some guides, links here, so that when you arrive, you have somebody to receive you, somebody to give you some tours within the country that you're visiting, so that you also have a journey that you can remember and you can bequeath even to your children, so that they also get to understand where they truly came from. So Africa is a peaceful place. We do not have a lot of violence here. In fact, some of the crime rates in Africa are very low compared to that we have, those that we experience in countries like United States. So Africa is totally peaceful and ready and welcoming for all of you African Americans. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for many more content like this. And we also wish to share with you down in the comment section. Give us your comment, your experience, and how you felt when you were in Africa. If you visited, or if you know a friend was visited, what was his or her experience? Thank you. Let's meet in our next video. Bye-bye.